Hey friends, welcome to class. It's great to have you here. I'm Dulcinea, and today I am bringing you a Vinyasa flow yoga practice, very physically focused on backbending, heart opening. I'd call it a most levels practice. I wouldn't say it's very beginner friendly, simply because we're moving quite quickly, and we do have some strong postures that require some basic understanding. But if you're like an experienced beginner, I'd say you're good. That makes sense. You've been practicing at least some slow flow and some vinyasa. You understand what it means to take vinyasa. Things like this will be accessible for you. But even if you're newer to the practice, it can be really nice to meet our edge with some classes where we can't do everything. That doesn't mean our practice isn't complete. This is how we learn new things. It's okay if you're kind of fumbling and having to watch a lot and pause and go back. That's the beauty of taking class online. You can retake a class as many times as you need to. Yeah. So that's the level disclaimer. I'll be teaching it with a little more of an intermediate approach. Take it down or up as you like. Yeah. I'm not going to be using any blocks today, just to emphasize kind of a good vinyasa pace, but if you like using blocks, grab them. I'm always in favor of some padding for the knees, especially because we'll be focusing on back bending today physically, and some kneeling postures will be needed to prepare for that. And while it doesn't need to be New Year's time for you to be enjoying this practice, this is a New Year's special vinyasa. We can kind of cultivate what sort of energy we want to bring with us into the new year, and I like to think more about that than having some kind of fancy New Year's resolution or big goal. I find there to be so much pressure in this time of year to be constantly improving ourselves and starting all these perfect healthy habits, and yet it's like cold and dark outside. It just feels like this tension of expectation versus reality a little bit. So rather than having some big lofty goal or resolution, I think it's much kinder and more attainable for me to think about what kind of energy do I want to bring into the new year with me. And there's this quote from Mary Oliver. She's one of my favorite poets. And it's funny, actually, I learned this quote from my yoga teacher. And I was on the fence. I was like, is it okay for me to also lead a yoga class with this quote that I've heard my teachers say in yoga class a lot of times? But Greta is very much about passing the teachings on. And it's not even her poem. I'm really big about honoring integrity of my teachers. So this I learned from Greta Hill, but it's from Mary Oliver, and it's very simple. How can we keep some room in our hearts for the unimaginable? Keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. What I love about this as a New Year's energy invitation is it's not saying, rip your heart open for everything possible or expect some big, abundant thing to happen this year. It's not saying like this is going to be your best year ever. Because while that would be great, that is kind of a lot of pressure, right? And I think we've all had a few years at this point where we keep thinking, this is gonna be my year, and then life happens, because no year is ever perfect. But what I love about this idea of keeping room in our heart for the unimaginable is it's realistic, but it is optimistic too. We open ourselves up enough so we can receive what we can't expect, what we can't predict, what we can't even hope for. Because sometimes things will go wrong in the coming year, but we can't imagine what kind of right that wrong could actually bring us, right? There's so many ways this could come through in our lives, and we'll talk more about it as we flow. But today I want to very simply open our hearts up to what we can't even dream up. Open our hearts to what could be possible in the coming year. Rather than expecting or pushing or forcing anything, let's just open ourselves up to what could be. So rather than starting in a seat to breathe, I'd like to start in a child's pose, because I want this to be kind of a embodied fast practice. It feels kind of weird to not sit first and breathe, right? I know we always do that. Let's try something different today. So I'm gonna move my cushion out of the way for now. come on down into a child's pose. You keep it as active or as passive as you like, and put your head down. And just stay here for some breaths. Keeping some room for what is imaginable, what is possible. How can you breathe more space into your torso? And ground heavier backwards through your seat. We're really not going to be here super long. Just enough to establish ujjayi breathing in and out of the nose from the strength of your diaphragm. Just long enough to feel contact of earth underneath fingertips, toes, shins, heart. Just long enough to ground into an acknowledgement this past year, no matter what it held or carried or challenged you with, there were gifts there to thank them. And let last year be what it was. And make some space in letting go of whatever it was. Make space for what could be in the year to come. Take 3 more breaths here in your child's pose. And from here, start to drag your fingers back. Curl your spine, drag, 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 drag. You're at your shins. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your arms back. Inhale, reach them forward and up. Exhale, reach them back straight away, strong core. Exploring the rotation in shoulders, or maybe lack thereof, or just getting started. It's kind of like a seated cat and cow, but a little bit more expansive and space-makey. Space-makey, that's a word. Wash away any lethargy. 3 more of these. 2. Last one, and then we'll reach our arms up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, reach, 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 and exhale, side bend over towards the left. Breathing into right side body. Come to center and exhale, go the other way. Breathe into left side body. And bring your hands behind your head at center. Inhale, fly your heart open. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin. Inhale, open up. Exhale, tuck, curl, round, empty out. 3 more of these. Last one. And release your hands. Keep your chin tucked for just another beat. And maybe sway your head side to side, keeping the chin down. Just kind of opening up the back of the neck a little bit. Slowly bringing yourself upright to center, maybe a little shimmy through the shoulders. And slowly come to stillness. Reach your right arm up, deep breath in. Exhale, twist to the left. Any way you like to twist, we're just here for 1 full breath cycle. Come to center to switch, left arm up, exhale, twist to the right. Stay for a full breath cycle. And slowly come to center, crawl yourself forward to hands and knees. tuck your toes under. Maybe you didn't notice how intense of a foot stretch you were in sitting on your shins, or maybe you noticed a lot. You can go forward and back a few times to open up your toes. Eventually coming to a more neutral spine. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Now if you're enjoying good old-fashioned cat and cow today, you can stay here. But if you're ready to get after some more strength, I always like to offer some extra options in my intermediate practices. You could do this whole thing with your knees hovering off the ground. Either way, we're not here for long, just 4 breaths. 3, 2, last breath. And the exhale carries you to downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet a little bit. Shimmy around. Make this yours. The next 2 or 3 breaths. Breathing in through the nose. And out the nose. And let's get moving. Inhale, slowly come forward to a plank pose. And exhale, come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, dog. One more time. From downward dog, inhale, look forward. And exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, coming to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Push through your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to heart center, mountain pose. Take a breath here to ground first. And we're going to get moving pretty quick, so take breaks as you need. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, fly the hips back. Reach up high. Utkatasana, fierce pose. 1 breath cycle. Push through your right foot to carry your left foot into your chest, or left knee into your chest. Ekapada Tadasana. And then bring the left foot back. So it's like trying to reach for the glute actively. Maybe grab your ankle to stretch the thigh. Point the knee down. 1 breath here. And we're going to slowly release the foot. Reach back, warrior 3. Reach the legs back nice and strong here for 3, 2, on 1. Plant the left foot down. It's reverse warrior. Reach right arm up and back. Huge breath in. Exhale towards side angle pose. Maybe right forearm starts on the thigh this round. Strong belly, strong legs. Think about finding space in the side body. We're going to need it later for back bending. Strength in the base, lightness in the heart. Slowly come up to a high lunge, so we're pivoting on the back foot. Inhale, reach here. Exhale, twist towards the right, so right arm goes back as far as it wants to go. Just 1 more breath cycle. Hands come down to frame the right foot. Straighten the right leg, bend the left knee, cat lunge just for a moment. And then we're going to bring left knee down, bend the right knee here in Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up, hug your front ribs in. Heavy base, reach your heart higher. Last breath here. And then we release the hands and we step back to downward facing dog. Inhale forward to a plank pose. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here to simply ground. After those 2 breaths, your next inhale, you look forward. Exhale to step or jump to the top of the mat and fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Push through your feet, rise up as you inhale. Exhale, mountain pose. 1 full breath here. Next inhale, hips go low, reach high, Utkatasana, fierce pose. Push into left foot, reach right leg up, Ekapada Tadasana. Just squeeze right heel towards glute, maybe grab onto your ankle with your right hand, pointing the knee down. This is more about a thigh stretch, we're not really in dancer pose, yeah? Releasing the foot, warrior 3 is born for 1 breath. Just to step it back for reverse warrior, left arm is going to reach up and back. Deep breath in. Exhale towards side angle pose, left forearm to thigh. Right arm reaches up and over. We're just here for a couple breaths, really strong legs. Find space in the side of your body. And we slowly pivot to face forward in high lunge, inhaling to reach taller. Legs are still working. Exhale, twist to the left. Left arm goes back as far as it wants to go. Hands come down to frame left foot, straighten left leg for just a moment, cat lunge. Just to come down to Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So left leg is leading, left leg is bent. Right knee is down, hips are heavy, torso is trying to lift out of the pelvis. You can bring your hands to your hips for a second. Ground the hips down and lift the heart up away from this space, and then reach your arms up. Start to make some space in your body. Eventually, hands come down. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward to your plank pose. And exhale, lowering to the belly or chaturanga. And inhaling to cobra or up dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Just 2 breaths here. Just trying to get warm in a really efficient way for back bending. After that second breath, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, whatever, get to the top of the mat. Inhale, come to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. A little faster this time, inhale, rising. Exhale, hands to heart. Pick up your left leg as you inhale. Oh, we skipped fierce pose. You know what, we'll come back to it later, it's okay. Squeeze your left heel towards your glute. Grab your left ankle with your left hand, thigh stretch. Some of you were like, yay, we skipped fierce pose. We're gonna come back. As you exhale, release the foot, warrior 3, 1 breath in. Step it back as you exhale. And then inhale, reach right arm back, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle pose, right forearm to thigh, block, ground, wherever it wants to be. Keep prioritizing space from your ankle all the way up through the side body to your fingertips. Pivot to face forward, high lunge, inhale. Exhale, twist to the right, arms could be open, you could reach back. If you like prayer twisting, that's cool too. Release the twist, hands come down, straighten right leg for 1 inhale. Exhale, left knee taps down. Inhale, low lunge, reaching your heart higher. Exhale, hands come down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale to the earth or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Ooh, excuse me. Enjoy one more breath here. And inhale to look forward. Exhale to step or jump to your hands. Come to your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Push through your feet. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, let's all just come to fierce pose before we do the second side. We're gonna stay a little longer. Really bring the hips back. Strong legs are gonna help your back bends, I promise. Strong legs, hips back, hips back, hips back. Gently tap the ground just to reach your arms back up. There it is, here for 5, 4, 3, 2. On one, stand back up. Bring your right leg with you. Squeeze your heel towards your glute to hold onto the ankle for the thigh stretch. And get a little shoulder stretch here too. Release it to warrior 3 for 1 breath. Just to step it back. Inhale, reach back, reverse warrior. Parvrita Virabhadrasana. Into side angle pose. Left forearm can come to thigh or anywhere it wants to go. Breathing space into the coast of your body. How can you make space, make room, keep room open? Eventually, losing side angle to come to high lunge as you inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Arms could be open in any way. Could be a prayer twist, hooking the elbow outside. Hands come down to frame left foot. Straighten left leg for just a moment. Bend back knee. Tap the right knee down. Inhale, low lunge, just 1 breath cycle. Of course, if you need a break, you can step back and take a child's pose, but if you want to keep flowing, step back to down dog. Inhale, forward like a wave to plank. Exhale, let's all come to our bellies. Let's get into a juicy cobra. Reach your legs back. Reach them back and push through your toenails. Pick up your knees with so much leg and glute effort. Wrap your shoulders onto your back. Strong fingertips. Drag your heart forward like a string is pulling it forward. You might come up higher, you might not. Either way, your hips stay on the ground. Exhale to either child's pose or down dog for 2 breaths. Or drink some water if you need it like. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. And fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Push through your feet. Inhale, reach up. Let's do another fierce hold. I kind of like doing it separate from the flow. Sink low. Sink low. Stay here. We're going to work a little more, okay? Twist to the left so you can open your arms, bring your left arm back. Or hands can be in prayer and you can be unhooked. Or this right elbow can hook outside the left thigh. Really try to keep your chest open here, not so much collapsing the shoulders, keeping them back. Ever since I sneezed, my nose is all sniffly now. Sorry if I sound funny. Slowly come to center as you inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. So your right arm could go back. Hands could be in prayer with the elbows staying open and free. Or you can hook the left elbow outside the right thigh and get really deep in it. We've been in fierce pose a while, I know. 1 more breath in, come to center. And then we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back and exhale, fold forward, rinsing out the shoulders. Release hands. Find your way up. Okay. 1 more time through that flow. Let's get warm. Push through your right foot. Bring your left leg with you. Ekapada Tadasana. Bring the heel towards the glute, grab onto the ankle. Enjoy the thigh stretch for a moment, but maybe you do feel ready to flirt with dancer pose. Roll the left shoulder back. Hug the rib cage and belly in, lengthen the whole spine. You can start to lean forward. If you kick the foot back a bit, your heart starts to open more. Maybe you reach your arm forward, maybe you don't. Who cares? We're not here for long anyway. One deep breath. Exhale to release. Step it back. Reverse warriors. You inhale. Exhale, set angle pose. Just one breath cycle. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, twisting to the right. Open arms or prayer hands. If you like binding, you could go for it, but we're not here long enough to really fuss. Hands come down, straighten right leg for a moment. Tap left knee down, bend right knee, inhale. Low lunge, maybe it becomes a bit of a back bend, reaching your heart up and back. Hands come down. Take rest or take vinyasa, stepping straight back to plank pose as you inhale. Exhale, lower to your belly for another juicy cobra pose. Huge breath in, open your heart forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just 2 breaths here before we do all that one more time on the other side. But notice how much more spacious your body's starting to feel. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, float to your hands. And fold. Inhale, push through your feet, rise up to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. We do have another fierce pose. Bend your knees, tap down just to reach up, hold it. Hands at prayer. Twist to the right first this time. Arms could be open with the right arm back or prayer hands. Hooking left elbow outside, continuing to commit to an open heart. Switch to center and the other side. To center, hold it. Interlace your fingers, roll the shoulders back, and again, fold forward. Release your hands, slowly come up to standing. Really nice work. Take your right leg with you, Ekapada Tadasana, one-legged mountain. To bring the right foot back by your booty. Grab your ankle. You could stay here for the thigh stretch or start to, it's like as much as you lean forward, you actively with strength push this right leg back. So your whole spine stays long. This left hand never has to go anywhere. You're in just as deep as a back bend as if you're here or here. It's about like the leaning of the heart and the pushing of the legs, both legs. Not here long anyway. We're gonna release it to step back to reverse warrior, deep breath in. Exhale towards your side angle pose, just one breath cycle. Next inhale is high lunge. Next exhale is a twist to the left, left arm back or prayer hands. Hands frame left foot, straighten left leg, bend right knee for one breath. Right knee taps down, left knee bends, inhale, low lunge. If it wants to be more of a back bend, it can at this point. You're pretty warm and ready, hopefully. But always be mindful of body. Hands come down. You could step back to a plank and take vinyasa, or you can rest. Meeting me. And downward facing dog. And then coming onto your knees for just a moment. Catch your breath, drink some water if you need it. Whew, I'm feeling it. This is my second practice today, to be fair, so I'm feeling extra, I think, but it's good. Let's get into the shoulders a little more before we keep it moving. You're gonna cross your right arm on top of your left arm, coming into either that hug we do a lot or eagle arms. Reach your arms up a bit. And we'll switch, bringing left arm on top for a hug or eagle arms. We'll release now. Bring your right hand behind your head and your left hand to your low back. So it looks like that. Right hand behind the head, left hand to low back. Lengthen your spine, so draw the core in and reach your heart up. Get some internal and external rotation through the shoulders here. Switch, left arm behind the head, right hand behind the low back. Breathe space, long and wide. And we'll release it. Maybe make a little circle through the spine, briefly in each direction. Okay, let's get back to it. Gonna start deepening things here at this point, kind of quickly. Definitely grab your knee padding if your knees are sensitive at all, because we're gonna come into a little twisted monkey time. Let's start with the left leg first. I like to change it up. Inhale, pick up your left leg. Exhale, step your left foot outside your right hand and lower the right knee down. Okay, so it's like a low lunge. We've been here lots of times if you practice with me a lot. Your hands could be on blocks if you have them and need them. But the left foot is a bit wider than a traditional low lunge. Okay, we're starting here. It's really important at this point forward through practice that you're really listening to your joints. Are your knees in a lot of pain? That's a sign to go very slow and not go any deeper, right? The joints, like, how do I put this? Like, we don't want to push on the joints the way we can maybe like kind of push into our muscles a little bit. So anytime in any pose, really, your knee is screaming, your ankles are screaming, or your shoulders are like, you can't really like make a bone stretch, you know what I'm saying? So just be careful. Okay, enough said. Right hand stays down, left hand comes to left thigh. You're gonna flex the left toes and push into your left leg to twist to the left. We've done this pose a lot, so if you know where to go, just go there, okay? I'm just walking people through who need it. You could pick up your back foot, see how that feels before you grab it. Feel the hamstrings engage back here, feel the back of your leg getting stronger. That's important for back bending. Feel the back bend right here before you even grab the foot. Feel your heart lifting up. That's plenty. The left hand could find that foot, maybe it doesn't, who cares? You could squeeze it in closer for more thigh stretch, or reach it back for more shoulder opening. My favorite is to kind of go between the two. One more breath here. As you exhale, the right toes come down. Left hand can stay up though. Pick up your right knee. Push into your right hand, pick up your left arm, twist to the left. It's like a twisting lunge. You could stay here, or slide your left foot back to stack on the right foot. Side plank pose, deep breath in. Exhale towards plank. Hold for inhale though. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, heart open. I'm going for a big juicy cobra today. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, pick up your right leg. Exhale, step your right foot outside your right hand, lower left knee down. Nice wide right foot. If you know what to do, you can just go for it. Give yourself support if you need it with blocks under your hands. Flex your right toes. Left fingers stay strong as right hand comes to right thigh. Twist to the right, push the leg away from you. Stay here, this is plenty. Keep belly engaged to protect low spine. Maybe you pick up your back foot by bending the knee. Feeling the heart opener here first, really curl your heart up. And when you're heart opening, back bending, notice how much contraction is happening in the back side of the body, okay? Contraction is needed to find space in the heart to open. Your right hand might find your back foot, and you could kind of squeeze it in close, reach it back, so juicy. Maybe savoring an extra breath in a nice juicy spot that wants a little more time in it. Eventually releasing to face forward. Left hand stays down. Left knee comes up. Right arm comes up. Twist to the right. Stay here. It's great. Or maybe you find side plank pose for a deep breath in. Exhale brings you to plank, but stay here as you inhale. Exhale to your belly. Inhale, taking your juiciest either cobra or up dog. If you want a really juicy cobra, what you can do is take a Rasika Bhujangasana. So you come to the ground, come into your cobra alignment, super strong legs, hip bones stay down. Drag your heart forward, maybe you come up a bit higher. And start to roll your shoulders back one at a time, but be mindful of your back. This is the cobra that sips and savors all the flavors of life. Exhale, take a rest, bring your head down. Take a few breaths here with a neutral spine. And if your back needs a little more neutralizing before we continue to back bend, take a child's pose for 3 more breaths. If you're after more fire while those are resting, you could always take extra vinyasas, make this your practice. Eventually finding our way again to downward facing dog for some juicy stuff for the whole body, really. Inhale, pick up your right leg. Exhale, bring your right knee behind your right wrist for pigeon pose. So there's always other variations you could take, but because it's an intermediate practice, I'm just going to keep it moving, okay? We're going to stay in pigeon for a moment before we keep it flowing. So we have to go side to side a little bit. We did get some sneaky good hip opening in through all that standing work, but this is still a bit different, that external hip opening. Now we have lots of places we could go. We could just rest here if we need it, that's awesome. Maybe we want to find a little more activation and back bending in our pigeon, which we're actually quite prepared for after that twisted monkey. So if you want to come with me, think about squeezing your legs toward each other, so it lifts you up a bit. It's like there's strength. There's mad strength in the outer right glute, left quad. Everything is turned on. Belly is strong, okay? We're gonna start here, having the heart lifted. And then you're gonna bend the back knee. Now, if in twisted monkey, reaching that foot was impossible, I'd say this might be your limit, but this is also a great pose. Just slowly feeling the engagement of those back hamstrings, engagement of the back body. This is very strong, and if you rush it, it won't feel great. Maybe you want to twist a little bit to the left. Maybe your left hand wants to find the ankle or foot. Okay? Keep breathing your heart open. Keep the low back long, belly strong, legs squeezing toward each other. Maybe you want to bring it a little closer. This is plenty. This is a lot. Or maybe, because you did a lot of thigh stretching, you can bring your foot into the crook of your left elbow. Maybe right hand wants to meet left hand for mermaid. Choices. I won't go any further than this. You know, if you play with the whole heart open version, you can. It's up to you. We're not here super long. Just one more breath. Exhale, slowly release that foot. Change is coming. Push into your hands, pick up your right leg. We're gonna step up behind you for wild thing. Push your hips up. Reach your right arm up and back. Huge breath in. As you exhale, right hand comes back down. Right foot is still up. You're gonna send it underneath you towards the left for fallen triangle on the knife edge of that right foot. Pick up your left hand. This is where it's tricky, I know. Push into your right hand, fallen triangle, open your chest and your hips. Exhale, left hand comes down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, pick up your left leg. Exhale, step your leg forward, bring the left knee behind the left wrist for pigeon pose. We're getting close, friends. Leave room in your heart. Keep room in your heart for the unimaginable. Maybe there was one day in your practice where you thought even getting into a pigeon pose was unimaginable if you're like me. Look where we are, even before we do any other fancy stuff. This was once unimaginable in your body. Keep room for what else is waiting, which could include just laying down and giving yourself rest here. Or we're going to find that mad activation, squeeze through the legs, find that lift. Maybe your hands stay here at neutral. Maybe you're going to just pick up that leg. Maybe you're going to twist to the right. Your right hand finding right ankle or foot. Keeping heart open. The whole spine long, especially that low back stays neutral. It's the upper back, the thoracic spine that's opening. Maybe your foot slides into the crook of the elbow. Maybe left hand meets right hand. Maybe you fall here. That's very common. Maybe you want to open your heart up through this window, but my body doesn't really want that one today. Not here long anyway. I'm just going to exhale to release it. Plant hands. Slowly pick up the left leg and step it behind you for Chamakrasana, wild thing, and strengthen the arm. Push into the right arm to open your heart up. Strengthen the legs. And as you exhale, left hand comes down. Left leg goes over to the right as you pick up the right arm in. Fallen triangle pose. Just bring the hands down, downward facing dog. Take rest or last chance for Vinyasa. Meaning in downward dog. Bring your feet wide and walk your hands a little bit further back. For functional forward fold, charge your hips really back and wide. Inhale here. Exhale, hinge, hinge, hinge back in space. Breathe into your spine. And we'll slowly crawl forward, settle down. And we're gonna come onto our backs for our last few poses. I don't know about y'all, but I feel backbending is very energizing. I'm like, I got more energy now. So, on your back, we're gonna start with some bridge pose variations. So, bridge pose, many of us know and love. We'll bring our arms down by our sides. As you pick up your hips, and release your fingers underneath you, and scoot your shoulders underneath you. Take a couple breaths here and feel into the back of your neck. Make sure there's no compression. In the front of your throat, keep that spacious too. It's the power of the legs that are going to help you deepen this bend, okay? Exhale to very slowly bring your hips to the ground and take a little rest. Now, you could always just do that again, but I have another fun bridge variation for those who like to play. And this is one of those variations that looks a lot crazier than it is. Like, it's more possible than you might think. Keep room for what you can't imagine, yeah? So it does require strong wrists. So just, if you feel like you have wrist problems, enter very slowly and carefully and see, okay? Also requires a nice open heart and strong legs, you know. Okay, everything we've been doing. So pick up your hips, come into bridge pose, but keep your hands free. You're gonna slide one hand at a time underneath, okay? So my fingers are pointing sideways, but careful of dumping into the wrists. Like we do in plank pose, dig your fingertips into yourself. Take some of the stress off the wrist. Okay, if your wrist's already hurt here, stay here. Pick up your heels. This is already a beautiful back bend. Keep your throat open. You might pick up one foot. You might extend that leg to the sky just for fun, breathing. You might switch legs. Keeping the breath big, buoyant, and wide. You know, one at a time is enough, or pick up one leg and trust picking up the other leg. Legs can stay bent. Opening the heart, maybe legs straighten. Eventually, bringing one foot down at a time. And slowly bring your hips to the ground. Bring your feet wide and your knees together for a constructive rest pose. Take a few breaths to recover. For some people, that can be kind of a lot on the elbows too, so if your elbows are a little sore, I'm sorry. We'll do one more back bend, so I like to do them in sets of 3 typically. So you just have a bunch of choices now. You could do that first bridge. You could do that bridge we just did with the legs up. Or you could do Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow, or wheel pose, some people call it. You'll bring your hands back by your ears if you want to try that. I'm just demoing it because I haven't shown it yet in this class, but take any back bend you want, they're all great. Strong fingertips here, extremely strong legs. This matters so much more than I can properly express. You're gonna start by pushing and coming onto the top of the head. If you get stuck here and you can't push yourself up, it means you still need to develop more arm strength. It's okay, but maybe you can push yourself up and open. Your arms might look more bent like this. If you're really tight, you might look more like that. Or you can straighten your arms and push your heart forward. Take any back bend you like for the next 3 deep breaths. After your 3 breaths, slowly find your way onto your back. And again, take your feet as wide as your mat and take your knees in towards each other. Constructive rest can really help clear the low back after some pretty big back bending, heart opening. Bring your feet to hips distance and pick up your left leg. Hold the back of the thigh with your hands. And don't go up higher for a big hamstring stretch. This is different. Hold the back of your thigh with your hands. Now, think about pushing your left hip down and squeezing your leg and your hands toward each other. Just rooting the femur bone. Take a couple breaths here. We'll switch legs. Bringing your legs together, you can let them go over to the left for a really soft, gentle supine twist. Switch directions. Come to center. Give yourself either a happy baby pose or a reclined butterfly, or maybe you want some Upavishta legs or a plow, whatever you need to seal off, wrap up your embodiment asana practice. And once that feels complete for you, find your way towards your Shavasana, your final resting pose. Make sure you're plenty warm. Maybe you're gonna tuck yourself into the blanket like me. Finding some true comfort and finding a position where your heart feels spacious and open. Once you find comfort, close your eyes and allow yourself to bathe in this energy you've cultivated. Feel this space that you carved out in your heart. Feel what you've cleared. Keep room in your heart for the unimaginable. Rest in the expanse of what cannot be imagined. Rest here. Give yourself over to gravity. Rest here for at least a few minutes. Hopefully longer if you have the time. This is where the video is going to end. I'm going to say thank you for creating space with me. Thank you for practicing with me. Happy, healthy, and safe New Year to you. I'll see you soon with another practice.